Welcome, friends. Once again, we bring to our audience, our viewers, a very appropriate subject which is not very much known to security fraternity, but the subject which is so important that today we decided to call it monumental responsibility. Yes, we are discussing about security of monuments, and this is part of our security leadership discussion. And today we are going to discuss various aspects of security of monuments, archaeological sites. We have, as child and even now as grown-up people, we have been regularly going to popular monuments, those monuments which are living evidence to our glorious past. Why these monuments are still intact and why these monuments need to be protected is very, very clearly evident when we see the declaration of Montu's undying love to his sweetheart, Sweetie. They are scribbling, they are defacing attempts on walls of monuments, and not only writing, scribbling, and graffitis on monuments, there have been many encroachment. There have been many attempts to deface them, damage them, and steal the artifacts in the monuments. This is a menace which entire world is facing, and security professionals need to gear up to protect those monuments which once damaged will not be reconstructed. Bamyan Buddha statue, you might recall how cruel people, barbaric people, entirely damaged and destroyed Buddha statue, and that glorious past of our culture will never be recreated to same glory, same magnificent grandeur. So we are going to discuss about various aspects of security of monuments, and with us we have expert, and that expert is none other than Captain Pran Ranjan Prasad. I welcome you, Captain Prasad, sir.
Thank you.
And I would like to introduce Captain Pran Ranjan Prasad in a way that you would know how multidimensional role he has played so far, and he has been very closely associated in defining how monuments must be secured in India, especially. Captain Prasad is presently advisor in National Capital Region Transport Corporation, in short NCRTC. He is former Chief Security Officer of Archaeological Survey of India, ASI. He held additional charges in ASI, and he headed IT cell, and as state manager of ASI was the role he played very, very efficiently. He has also served in National Monument Authority and UPSC examination branch. He has authored two books very well received by security professionals: Safeguarding Heritage and Monumental Glory and Museum Security Challenges and Remedies. Challenges and Remedies. Beside, good number of articles have been authored by him and published in various felicitation volumes, archaeological publications, leading magazines, and newspapers. His latest book in Hindi, Devanagari script, is on promotion of tourism, importance of heritage sites, and disaster management. This is press ready. The discussion is organized by ICISS, International Council of Security and Safety Management, and we are in forefront in professionalizing the professionals. So this is the latest discussion on the series of leadership, security leadership discussion. I welcome you, Captain Pran Ranjan Prasad, on behalf of ICISS, and request you to kindly share the initial thoughts on what you see about monuments, how you feel that those monuments need to be secured, and how these monuments can be secured. Over to you.
First of all, thank you very much, Captain Tyagi sir. It's a wonderful beginning, and I really admire your professional thinking that you have thought about this aspect. Otherwise, this is so important, but incidentally, uh, none of the security professionals so far have ever bothered to take cognizance of requirements of monuments security. Now, when we talk of monument security, it is entirely different and somewhat, it has a bigger canopy than airport security or building security or any other VIP security and things like that. Monument security, the role of monument security, because we start from role. I mean, if there is a problem, there should be a role of somebody to meet that challenges. So when we talk about monument security, then there are certain aspects which we have to keep in mind. See, why monuments are so important? Well, Captain Tyagi has already elaborated the reason, and I'm very happy he has done a very good homework, or rather, he has studied well. First thing is that these monuments are the testimony of yesteryear's civil architecture, most of which do not exist today. It is very difficult to make a Qutub Minar today. Of course, with the modern gadgets and modern thinking, we can make it. But that has not been made by using cement or iron. So this is where the difference is. So we should protect them from getting destroyed or losing it totally. So this is one aspect. Another aspect is that how all these monuments are open for tourists or public to view. So therefore, the challenges of security guards and security professionals becomes more sort of demanding, because you are allowing visitors to go in, go past the monuments, go past the artifacts, and still make sure that nothing goes wrong. So there is greater height of vigil which is required. Now, so the role of a security professional in safeguarding monuments are right from guiding tourists. I mean, guiding tourists, when I say, not that guiding which you often listen, but making sure that the visitors follow a designated path, go from one end, go around the monument, and then come out quietly. Second thing is, they should not be carrying any unwanted article with them, which is defined at every monument, and every monument has their own requirement. It is not a standardized sort of thing. What is required in one particular monument, perhaps in other monument some other requirements would be there. Then dirtying the area, that also falls in this category only. If monument area is littered with waste materials, that is also not good. So that aspect should also be taken care of. Maybe other professionals would be doing it, but then security is over all of these groups. So security professional must ensure that they do the job and nothing goes wrong. Now, next point is that there are you meet two type of people. One who unintentionally does something wrong. Unintentionally, when I say, means he has not come there with that um, view or something with that nature that he will be destroying others. But when he reaches there, somehow any item is damaged by the person. So that is unintentional. And another group which you face or you might face is of people with intent. Now, people with intent means they will purposely find a way out to do something wrong. Like sometimes you might be viewing the in the newspaper that some archaeological artifact have been stolen. And like one example I want to give here is of our first president, Dr. Rajendra Prasad's precious medallion and all, what he got initially, that was kept in Patna Museum in one of the gallery that was known as Rajendra Prasad Gallery. And entire thing has been stolen. His certificate, everything. How did it happen? When case study was carried out, it was found that at the time of closing the museum staff took it very casually. Like every day they used to close. On that day also they closed, but they never went around the area inside the rooms, which is a mandatory requirement. And two people were hiding themselves inside, and at night they took everything out by cutting the door lock and all. So in general terms, ये जो कहा जाता है ना कि चोर आगे आगे और पुलिस पीछे पीछे, तो मॉन्यूमेंट के केस में वैसा नहीं हो सकता है. वी हैव टू बी प्रोएक्टिव. You have to think ahead that what wrong can be done by somebody. However, the demand of Indian artifacts, which are there in monuments, either in their premises or inside the building, the demand of these artifacts are very, very much in the Western country or affluent country. And I must tell you that our job as a security professional in safeguarding monument is not that easy, because there is a parallel group which is running the government type of business. They are the smugglers, dealers in antiquity, and they have their own network, which is a very, very big network. And mind you, in our country, there is an ancient site almost every 100 kilometer at a distance of 100 kilometers, and it is just not possible to provide safety to all these places uh, regularly. So things do get lost from there, and then it reaches the hands of those artifact dealers, and then it crosses the boundary. However, there are acts and rules and regulations, like no artifacts can go outside the country boundary. But then uh, people do find ways and means. Now, another aspect is that this monument security, which Captain Tyagi has brought out today, I am so happy with him that he has brought out a very, very pertinent sort of requirement of the nation. These days, security is not being given, security of monuments is not being given so much priority or attention as they must be given. And as such, Many monuments are either without any security guard, or else they are heavily understaffed, and some monuments are having good staff. So this sort of things is not going to work. And then department does not have, Ministry of Culture does not have dedicated security force, that is heritage security force. So therefore, what happens is some outside agency is handed over these responsibilities, and then you keep your fingers crossed that how much effective they are. Now, I don't wish to name any particular agency or something, but this is a point to ponder. And then again, one thing is there that number of times these points have been uh, brought to the notice of government, and they have really not bothered to follow on those reports. There are one report is uh, Mirdha committee report, then another is one colonel's report, and all. So many reports are there, but shortage of staff, security staff, is the major problem, and dedicated security task force is another. And government has got these reports with them. So something should be done uh, as early as possible.
As Chief of Security in Archaeological Survey of India, Captain Prasad, I am sure you might have visited thousands of monuments, and in thousand different ways you must have secured them. Is there any SOP for ASI once a site is declared protected and becomes under the control of ASI? Then that SOP defines what all is required to be done so far as security of that monument is concerned.
Well, unfortunately, no SOP is there so far in practice. But of course, in files it is. SOP has been drafted and handed it over to the department, and it is like one such SOP is for museums, museum security, which was drafted by me only. I was given this task in 2015 to draft the SOP for security of museums, comprehensive security um, process for museums. And this is an official document with government. But hardly some museums have moved forward. Like National Museum is one which has done number of which has paid full attention towards that project, towards that policy. It is a policy, national policy. But not all, unfortunately. This is the situation. And with regards to monuments, there are none in practice. Well, it is something like need based wherever something happens. However, as chief security officer, I have provided them with a straight line, point by point. There are 73-point document, 73 point, which they should do. But ultimately, it's a pan India thing. Entire country jurisdiction is divided into different circles. So they are supposed to carry out. Now, two things mainly come into play of not being implemented. One is the keenness, very keen towards security thing. That is one. And second is the fund. Fund is the biggest crunch. Yeah.
Uh, I want to share with our viewers the Ministry of Culture and Religious Affairs. So I underscore this phrase. The Ministry of Culture and Religious Affairs elaborates and enforces the national strategy and the legal stipulations and norms in protection of historical monuments fields. What are the real issues we are discussing here? But then one real issue has already been highlighted by Captain Prasad, that they are SOP, they are policies. Not implementing is the real issue. I hope that the present security chief of ASI is paying attention to this. By another point of discussion would be, Captain Prasad, that along with monuments, another area of responsibility for security professionals, which has not been discussed so much, is museum security. We have seen that famous Hollywood movie based on what is happening during the nights in the museum. But then in India, especially, museums are much neglected, and the security during night is much to talk about, and also much to feel agitated and disturbed, because they not only store precious archaeological valuable artifacts. These are precious for our entire generation. This much we owe to our coming generation, that we must protect them. But still, they are very, very dark areas, not even gray areas, dark areas. So, would you like put some light on museum security also here?
Oh yes, Captain Tyagi sir. I'm very happy that you have put this question to me, because I am the one who was chosen to draft comprehensive national security policy for the museums, for the India's museums in 2015. And I have drafted it. It has gone to both the houses from where it got cleared, and now that is an official document with Ministry of Culture. Now, in museum security, I have taken all the aspects into account, starting from museum building, their location, their construction, and their valued space, what is required. And location also matters a lot. And with that, the normal SOP, which you are also aware of, duty of guards, then electrical points, then vantage point, and a normal drill, timely drill as per SOP of firefighting and other training and everything. And most important, which I have started at that time only after 2015, is one can go and see in National Museum that RFID tagging of all the precious items, archaeological items, whether it is of stone, wood, or fabric, or even paper. So RFID tagging, I have started getting done, and that is going to help a lot. And then basically the thing is that do's and don'ts. If a guard falters there, then all your system will go haywire. So guard should be very good. Now, invariably, I have myself faced, because they were not knowing me, who am I? भाई ये कैसे हो गया साहब मेरी ड्यूटी तो कल से ही लगी है नाउ दिस सॉर्ट ऑफ आंसर इज a very stupid answer. There has to be a handing to taking over sort of drill, that even if a guard has come today, he has to be told some basic things. He can't just escape by saying कल रात से ही मैं ड्यूटी पर आया हूँ. So this I am why I'm emphasizing is, Captain Tyagi sir, is for the security professionals. They must, and then every type of security trainings are being given by private security agencies, but they are missing out on this aspect: security of monuments and security of museums. So I request them that they should also include this chapter in there, because you know that in many of the monuments, private security agency is involved. Their people are guarding. So unless, and then another thing is, any guard, whether they are from government or private, they must have affinity towards the museum items and monuments. Unless there is attachment, you can't expect very good results from them. So museum security, comprehensive policy on museum security is existing, and it is very elaborate. And in that also, it has been emphasized that there should be a uh,
Still remaining on security of museum, I often wonder that when museum is to be secured, the museum is housed in a building which itself needs to be secured and protected. So one side, ASI takes good care of protecting the monuments. On the other side, they have museums established inside the protected those monuments, and where footfall is so much, the air conditioning is very, very poor, lights, very harsh lights are put there. So the concern about protection of that monument, particular monument, which needs to be protected, also is housing a museum where air conditioning, lighting, and footfall is certainly going to have negative impact. What about this side, which is often being neglected, that having the museum housed in the protected building itself? So, how do you answer about it, Captain Prasad?
can I have the question again, because
Yeah, my
missed I
observation
missed
was, yeah, I
that.
know. My observation was that many a times in India, museums are housed in a protected building. That
Yes.
protected building itself would have needed lot of precautions like air conditioning, like vibration, avoiding high vibrations or harsh lights. But museum is housed in similar building which needs to be protected against these elements, and these physical elements would destroy the protected monument, but still inside the same building there is a museum. So how ASI is looking these two paradoxically different aspects?
I fully endorse your views, but since this is a policy matter, so my comments are not going to make any sense, because this policy decision has to be taken by the Ministry
No,
of
sir.
Culture.
We
Only,
make the opinion. Still make your comment because we make
yeah,
the opinion.
yeah, no, certainly. Like I tell you, I was a designated disaster management expert in making a plan for National Museum to making it disaster proof. I was the expert disaster, and it took about over 1 year to complete that task. And even in National Museum, there are many things to be done. I'll not say nothing is there, but then from disaster management point of view, like bhukamp aa gaya, tufan aa gaya, usse. So obviously, it is not only in terms of visitors' comfort, but also otherwise, a museum should be in such a big campus where more number of footfalls can easily be accommodated. That is one. Second, vehicle parking area. Like I have visited number of foreign countries, and I have seen, just to mention one very latest where I have been recently, about 2 years ago, is Doha, Qatar Museum. that Doha is just a city, but there they have three museums separate, and all museums are spread in a very big area. Rather, you can say in an area something like India Gate has, and in such a big area, their parking area. I mean, why I'm saying this, because we must think on these lines, and we must pick up the best from the outer world. So there, the parking area, vehicle parking area, is well about more than half a kilometer away. And when you park your vehicle there, there are this battery operated golf car in which you just sit, and then they bring you to the main building of the museum. And main building of the museum lobby and everything is so big that it is futuristic. I mean, what you have tried to express your concern about footfall and things like that, and then air condition, because in a new building, air condition you can put, but in the monuments and all, such things are prohibited under the laws. At many places, an infrastructure building uh, should not be a problem, and I fully endorse your views. Yes, such things should be taken care of.
Now, another point I can think of, which is area much neglected, is promptness in securing archaeological site and efficiently securing. So not only the time is the prime factor, actually securing so that no harm or damage is done to that archaeological site is another concern. We talk about Kalibangan, we talk about Rakhigari, we talk about Sinoli, and I am from a place which has closest archaeological site. I am from Meerut, and you might have heard Kila Parikshitgarh. In early childhood we used to go to that area, and people were still talking about finding coins and swords and whole lot of things. In fact, few coins I have seen, and I have also seen a sword being uh, taken away from that site. It may be very recent, it may not be very important, but unless and until archaeological does the research, it would not be conclusively found. So, closer and latest, Rakhigadi or Sinoli. I know those sites were there in the village. Digging was started, excavation started the way ASI wanted it. They did some initial digging, and for months they did not turn up. Suppose they were real good findings and they were denied as part of either mischievous intention or part of conspiracy, because I know that so much is being talked about Aryan being invaders. Those recent archaeological survey indicate that the horses were present there, where no, Aryan invader theory say that Aryans were the only one who brought horses to India. But those sites have proven that horses were already being used. So even Bhimbetka, recent finding, Bhimbetka, their pictures there found have indicated that not only horses were domesticated, horses were used for warfare. So that debunks the Aryan invader theory. So my point here is that such important potential site is being neglected, and so criminally neglected. What should be done as part of SOP? What should be done? What should be fine tuned so far as you are concerned as ex Chief of Security in ASI?
Yes, very pertinent point has been brought out by you. The thing is, we have also been harping on this. Firstly, security starts from beginning. That is, in under Archaeological Survey of India or under state government, there is a parallel this thing. Just a second. Give me 1 second, please.
So, Captain Prasad has
Uh,
something to
just,
say to us.
just, just, just a minute.
Uh, I, meantime, share with the audience that the beam betka, those wall paintings, cave paintings rather, have been there for a very long time. Those cave paintings, pictures were shared and reshared. It was only recently when General G.D. Bakshi put brighter light on this aspect and proven conclusively that not only Saraswati river civilization is older than the Indus civilization, which historian and archaeologists so far very proudly claim to be the oldest. So Indus Valley is not the oldest. In fact, Saraswati river civilization is the oldest. And Saraswati river civilization also indicates horses being used for domestic purpose, for warfares. And that links up to the point of argument that Aryan invader theory is heap of garbage. It wouldn't stand the scrutiny which is being done now with conclusive scientific archaeological proof and what all tools are available for archaeology to go back and exactly pinpoint the time of origin or time of establishment of certain artifacts or monuments or whatever is found there as archaeological evidence. So back to Captain Prashad, you wanted to say something, please.
Yeah. Thank you so much for bearing with me. Uh, the thing is that security, as we all know, you are a security professional, we all are, that security has a very, very big canopy. It can't be just momentary that a monument is there and go and secure. No. In ASI, I have written paper on this. I have given paper, when I say not commercial paper, but official paper, that there should be a proper security setup in ASI having teeth. It must have teeth. Teeth, when I say that, as you know, ASI has got different types of sites under its protection. One, we call it monuments, and in general term we call monuments and sites, protected monuments and sites. Now, what do you mean by site? Sites are those where ancient structures are buried and they would be excavated in future. So those sites are protected with by boundary fence and things like that for future excavation. There are many such sites in India. So these security force must be put into action there also, because unless you protect the site, like Captain Tyagi was just mentioning, that he has been seeing from childhood that people are taking away artifacts, and how old they are, that is a different thing. But then why should anybody be picking up these things? So for that you have to have security there. So the role of security task force starts from there. Now, coming back to another point, that is excavation. ASI excavation branch, there are a number of excavation branches which carry out excavation. Now, security should be there right from day one, continuously till the task is finished, and even thereafter, to protect it. So, who will understand these simple things of security? That is the problem. You know, the people sitting at the place from where planning is done, it's very difficult to make them understand. This is the irony. Thank you.
So we are coming closer to our end part of discussion, the final area of discussion from my side is how effective and powerful ASI is in handling the encroachment. Because in heart of Delhi, RK Puram, there is a monument which is all around encroached, and people not only on daily basis damage the walls, they have in fact now started entering inside the premises, and their encroachment continues. So, how ASI would handle the encroachment? How powerful ASI is in handling such situation?
Obviously, at present, uh, ASI is not having any such task force to deal with mischievous activities of general public. I was there in surveys. I have been time and again taking help of local police in Delhi, in Hyderabad, in Bangalore. But that is one time affair. They can't protect you, they can't provide you facility for, on a daily basis. So unless we have our own, because premises is being misused in a number of ways, which is not good. So much so, just to give you a hint, that many family members uh, don't wish to visit any very good monuments with their families. So, all these points are of concern, and they can only be dealt if there is a regular task force and uh, get well trained. And like I have no hesitation in telling you that we have outsourced security professional from CISF and as well as some private agency, but they are no good in helping the department as such, but they are good in helping themselves. Thank you.
I know that how one specific security agency
Then
grabbed the
you can, sorry, you can understand my agony. I mean, how bad I am feeling. I don't know how to express. How to
I
express.
know, I know. Being in the field, I know that the entire whole list of monuments were under security of one specific security service provider. But that did no good to security of monuments.
Mhm.
You have rightly mentioned that why people do not wish to go to monuments with the family, because the dirty thoughts scribbled for time immemorial by those shoddy elements. I don't know. It is no more limited to lifts and lobbies. Monuments were first medium of expression of such wicked minds. So it is not very pleasant to visit, even with the small children, to visit such monuments, because children can read, and they can read those dirty things written there. So that is very shameful, and kind of area which ASI must pay immediate attention, because if they feel that the monument must be protected, then they must also feel that it must be protected for everything. From the visitors perspective also, it must be part of their sensitivity to see that no such no embarrassing situation is faced by people when they visit such sites with their children. So I would request you to make closing remark covering, at least those areas which you feel ASI must pay attention to immediately, and a security chief of ASI must prioritize his list of areas of specific interest. So your closing remark, please.
Yeah, in my closing remarks, I would like to impress upon everybody is that security of monuments and museums are very, very important, and to do that, to take care of that, there is an urgent need of having a special task force, which is called Heritage Security Force, या सांस्कृतिक सुरक्षा बल, and they should be exclusively trained and they should function under Ministry of Culture, and they must have full strength because shortage of manpower is a very creates a very difficult situation. And everything towards this in making the task force and what are the role, every document is available with the ministry. So बना बनाया चीज है, अब उसे इम्प्लीमेंट करने की जरूरत है. So let's hope some early decision would be taken, because otherwise we are losing many encroachment, as rightly Captain Tyagi has pointed out. Encroachment has become such a difficult. Like I told you, there are some sites which are protected for future excavation. In fact, in those sites, can you believe in certain states, these builders have sold the plots and made housing schemes? So this is because there was no guard to stop them.
Right. Thank you very much, Captain Pran Ranjan Prasad. You have been very helpful in understanding the entire spectrum of roles and responsibilities for security of archaeological sites, security of monuments, security of museum, and in our efforts to professionalize the professionals, we keep on bringing such relevant subjects because ultimately, if we know something, it must be shared. And in security leadership discussion, we always bring expert in the field who has made name and fame because of professionalism, so that through their discussion we transfer the knowledge and wisdom to younger professionals. Ultimately, our goal is to professionalize the professionals. In that direction, we bring every month a new expert speaker under the series of security leadership discussion. Such discussions are being brought to our viewers through the forum of International Council for Industrial Security and Safety Management. We have world over more than 7,000 membership. We have representation in about 13 countries and is spreading fast. And every day new members are being added. To get the notification, to know about the discussion and the expert in forthcoming discussion, you need to subscribe to our channel and you will get advance notice of our forthcoming discussion. Till then, I wish you all the very best and may you remain happy, healthy, and prosperous. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.
Yeah.